How did you, who'd you work with on design? Tell me a little bit about the inspiration behind it. This place is awesome. I mean, it's a beautiful space, and you've got some really wonderful elements, the mirrors and the rafters. Tell me a little bit about that.
That's why it's so satisfying the way it came out. The Black and Black were our architects, and the design of this restaurant it's not a unique design. It's how many wood-fired pizza places get set up in cities, because you have limited storefront and a deeper store. So, but they did a great job of fitting in as much as they could into all the nooks and crannies. But in terms of design, I worked with what's up in here, and I worked with my GC, Tom Gobler specifically, my friend Chris Lanty, who's a local here as well. Mike Foley, our painter, had a lot of comments about just color scheme, but we sort of found elements and then decided what to do with them. When we opened up the ceiling, we said it needs something on the wall, and we had some mirrors. Tom Gobler said we should frame them and it'll look like windows, and the element worked out great.
That's great. That's great.
The wood rack is something that you've seen in different places, but specifically in Franny's in New York, they have a wood rack like this, different color, but it serves so many purposes. It's storage, because we need that for the wood.
Right.
It's passive screening to let the diners enjoy themselves without being bothered with who's coming in the front door. And I just think it's cool having a bunch of wood sitting around.
Was there any big surprise? I mean, I can't imagine the process of concept, build out, design, execution, and getting people in the door. Is there any surprises, or you watch on TV some of these restaurant rehab shows or whatever they're called? Any drama? Any surprises?
There was never any drama. I mean, I think what you do after you have a bunch of guys who have worked corporately and so forth, it's a process, and there's a project, and you got to get it done. And so while you can have things that frustrate you, you got to keep moving. And I equate it to, like, you look at a beautiful mountain, you're like, I'm going to go take a hike and climb up to the top of that 3,000-foot mountain. And you're going, it sounds great in the beginning, and about 2/3 of the way up, you're going, what the hell was I thinking about? But in reality, I have not regretted a single second.
Did you ever want to turn back?
Never, ever, ever. But I will say we're building a nice family in this restaurant, and that's the other piece that I get out of this, and why I never turn back. I love people who I work with, and anyone who's worked with me can tell you, I try to always have a positive outlook on things, and here you get a chance to build a team, and as we're doing that, we've got a ways to go, but you can feel it coming together. You can feel people getting on board, and that part is really satisfying.
Well, that resonates, I got to tell you, because I've come in with my family, I've come in with a couple buddies, and I've sat out here, I've sat at the bar, and one thing that I've noticed every time that I've been in here is just a great attitude by the servers, number one. You're always smiling. One time I was absolutely crazy in here, and you're in the back waving to me. And from a community standpoint, that's meaningful for me. I know, and I just think you're hitting the mark there. So
thank you.
It shows, and just keep it up, because it makes it a great place to come and chill out and have a beer.
That's great. Thank you. I mean, the community on the flip side of that coin has been tremendous. The support that they've shown us, and the patience, frankly, that they've shown us. We're a new place, and we're going to stub our toe. But all in all, people have been really kind to us, and I can't tell how much I appreciate it.
That's awesome. The restaurant scene in Libertyville it's really happening here now.
Awesome.
So what are your thoughts? I mean,
I think
you know a lot of these guys.
I think it's fantastic. You can't believe how supportive the local guys have been. Lee down in Milwaukee, Trace, comes up, and when he needs to roast his awesome wild mushrooms that his buddy forages, he came and used our oven, or he'll use our mixer, and then he'll leave me some sausage, and I named the pizza after it because he liked the sausage for it.
That's awesome.
The guys at Firkin have been tremendous. Brian Grano is he's a force in the town, and has been in and is a nice guy. The guys trying to even open next door. Everyone's kind of been very on board. It's tremendous. Like, again, I couldn't ask for people to be nicer. And on the other hand, I feel like we put out the right vibe, and we're not out trying to poach people. And
right.
I think you sort of get what you deserve.
Well, I've come down into town, and it's packed down here on a Friday night or a Thursday night, and I walk around, and I always ask myself the question: have you had? And I'm just curious if you've noticed this or have any data on it. But how many people are from Libertyville And how many, like, what's the breakdown? Is it
I don't
90%
think,
Libertyville
no, I don't
folks,
think
or-
anyone has a stat on that, but
Yeah.
but depending on the restaurant, they'll tell you different numbers. And I think it's probably true. There are probably those places that get more locals, sort of the old time places. And then there are others that are attracting them from a broader area. And I would think like a Shaku and a Chili U are drawing to bigger, brighter, flashier places and doing a great job. And so I think they're bringing people in from out of town, which everyone benefits from.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is great. I mean, and that to me is exactly what this town needs. I don't think it needs more, less. I think it needs more. And as long as it's different and unique, and you deliver on the concept, I think that people are going to support it.
Yeah, I read an article not too long ago that talked about a little bit about there was maybe an argument out there that folks had we got too many restaurants. So you said we need more, not less.
Well, so the Yogi Berra statement, my Yankee background, he used to say nobody goes there anymore; it's too crowded, and Libertyville sort of suffers from that. People say we don't need more because I can't find parking. Well, people don't drive here for 45 minutes to turn around and go home. They want to try what's going on. And once they get out of the car, we talked about this buzz they feel with an energy in the street. Again, if you start all the way down in Shaku or the Green Room and you work your way back down to Mickey Finn, you're going to feel that really every restaurant you go to.
Yeah,
and I think what you'll find is that everybody's got a little niche that they're covering in this town, and it supports one another.
What do you think we're missing?
I know what we're missing, and I'm keeping it quiet because I know some guys who are looking at it. I'm not looking at it, but I know some guys who are. I think there are several opportunities in town, and I think the guys who are looking, if they execute it, it's going to be fantastic.
Fair enough. Since you've been through this, and you've also got a lot of experience on the finance side of things, any young restaurateurs out there that want to take the jump, or young or old, that want to take the jump into the restaurant biz, what's some advice that you would give them?
Be conservative on your numbers, and then, because they're not going to be right regardless, it's going to cost more. Make sure you have solid partners that you can rely on, and that believe in your vision. You better have a lot of energy. You better be ready to work night and day, and at some point it doesn't become work anymore. To me, this is like, I wake up and it's a purpose, and it's fantastic. And so, but you got to ready yourself for all of that, and you have to have thick skin, because there are going to be people all along the way who tell you you're crazy, what you're doing. There's going to be, I have all my friends in the restaurant business tell me, don't even read that. Yeah. Don't even read those things. Have someone else read them. If there's specific issues, let them bring them to your attention. But just disregard that. I will say on our Facebook page, I do check that, and people who put reviews, because that I can comment directly to them. And really, to me, if someone has a bad experience here, I want to address that, and I want to make sure that they come back in and get an opportunity to have the right experience. And to me, that's a great opportunity to take a loss and make it a win. But like Yelp and everything else, it's just too broad an audience. It's a group of people who, if you're a Chicago pizza guy, this place may not work for you. Okay. But because you're a reviewer as well, they can trash you. And so to me, fair or not, it is what it is. And so I can't be saddled with worrying about that. I can just try to make the best food I'm trying to make, and try to see where the chips fall from there.
Speaking of social media, do you have any specific strategies, or how do you utilize that? How does
we
come into play at all?
We haven't done anything aggressively on the marketing front at all, and we knew we wanted to open soft. We knew we wanted this to be get the food right first, get the service component down, get all your meal periods in place, and then figure out where you want to be. Libertyville supports their restaurants really well. So to date, we haven't needed it. But we'll need it at some point.
Word of mouth is powerful.
But my little pieces of marketing is I make pizzas on Sunday morning, and I walk out in the park where families are playing, and I hand out breakfast pizzas and give people slices of pie walking up and down the street. It's the most fun thing in the world, because everyone loves pizza.
What time do you do that?
It's just when we're screwing around, or if someone misfires and puts jalapenos on the smoking Jersey Q when the guy didn't want them, I say, don't pick them off, because he's still going to taste them.
Yeah.
Remake the pizza, because we bury all our problems in pizza. Remake the pizza. I'm going to go out and walk this pie around town and make sure people get to try it. So that to me is a fun way.
Smart. That's smart. There's nothing like getting getting the product in people's hands.
Well, and it gives
In
us a
their
chance
mouth.
to talk a little bit.
Yeah, right.
I feel like I'm a good commercial for the place too.
Right. No, you are absolutely. So what's going on in the basement, the lower level? What do you got?
Yeah,
going
so
on?
we've opened that up the last couple of weekends for overflow seating, and we've now done 3 parties down there. And it seats up to 48. You know, we've got different menus that you can jump on board with, for anything from all you can eat pizza and salads to more of a past hors d'oeuvre and pasta type of thing.
Okay.
And we think that when we built the place, we were told by other guys with similar concepts, get a party room. If you can do it, figure it out, build it. And so that actually expanded the total scope of the project considerably, because when we added those seats downstairs, we added the need to sprinkling, we added the need to put in a lift, and all these things that you don't think about. So we were told that even with those additional costs, that this was something that we should.
Do you have a bar down there?
We have a little bar that can be set up either as a buffet or as a service bar. We don't generally staff it during the night because it's not cost effective, and families really are going in and out of it. When we do overflow seating, it really, for me, we try to make it more of a party/family room. And as much as we can, we'll try to push larger parties and or those with kids, where we'll give them their Play-Doh and they can go play with dough and do their thing and have a good time. And that way, as much as we can bring the couples up here and let them enjoy the rest of the ambience in the restaurant.
So a year from now, what's happening with Pizzeria DeVille is you going towards brunch. This thing is amazing.
Yeah, we're gonna open up a brunch. We're gonna do a lunch starting at the end of October.
Lunch and
brunch, and we probably will leave the first couple of days, Monday, Tuesday, no lunch. And I don't know if we'll stay open Monday nights. We're figuring all of that out.
Okay.
We have had inquiries about folks renting the restaurant out, and there's a lot of corporate activity in town. So our thought is if we keep a couple of days open and a night open, we can do some private events and try to pitch the restaurant that way. But we'll see. Sort of. The one thing I said is nothing is for certain at this point, because we're just too new. We don't know what our role is yet.
That makes sense. You going back to the theater thing? I love that analogy. You still acting at all, or what?
Not while I'm doing this. Though most people will tell you during the course of a night, I deal with stress by singing some opera back there, and I'm not kidding. And so you'll occasionally hear a solo mio or something else flying out of the kitchen, and it's just my uncontrolled urge to let it out.
All right. Well, this has been great, man. Thanks so much for your time.
Appreciate you coming.
How can people find, besides walking in, you guys online?
So www.pizzeriadeville.com, just one word. We'll be doing something with Chow Now, which will provide an app for folks to order as well. That's in the works. 847-36 Pizza, that's our phone number. We do takeout, and we're going to sort of look at delivery, again, just based on the volume we're doing. It sounds great, but when we're packed on a Friday night and people want to deliver and take out as well, I just want to make sure that we can actually deliver. So that's the
one last question for you.
Yeah, of course.
I have, and I don't know much about food other than eating it.
It's a good start.
But the crust on your pizza seems, it's got more flavor than a lot of pizzas I've had, and it seems to be more moist and not as dry. Am I imagining that, or is there some with the
No,
wood,
and that's
that's
certainly when it comes out right. That's the way it's supposed to be, and anyone can ruin any dough. When you say others you've tried, you're probably referring to more traditional pizza that you're having either out here or even in New York, because if you have wood-fired pizza here, or at Nomad Pizza Company when Jerry Bassen's doing a company, or if you go down to coal fire, there generally will be some similar qualities, and that is our oven. We do a very wet dough. We use a mix with ours of Italian and American flour, because I want it a little bit stiffer than what the traditional Neapolitan pizza is.
Okay.
And then it's just a matter of cooking it right. But that oven, in terms of the flavor profile of it, generally you'll find people who age their dough overnight or over the course of a few days. You don't need sugar, you don't need oil, but you need a little time and care.
Okay.
That brings around the flavor profile, just like good bread. So I'm glad you like it, and we'll try to keep making it that way.
Great. And do you want to give a shout out to anybody that really helped you out with this place, or any other restaurants in town?
Well, there's so many, but first, of course, my wife and my family. because they're the best. But Lee at Milwaukee Trace, the guys at Shaku have been so supportive. Everyone in town, really. You know, it's great. From Village Hall on down, it's been a great experience. The guys at Franny's, John Adler specifically, you know, I'll never be in his class. There's a guy named Dean Zanella, Chef Dean Zanella, who's been up here a bunch, helping us out and get going. Couldn't do it without him. Like, so there's a lot of people, but I think it's great. It sort of speaks to the community of people that are making it go.
Amen. That's great. Well, thanks again for your time, Ben.
Thank you.
Look forward to
Appreciate
having my
you
next
coming
bite
in.
of pizza, and I'm going to work on this thing right here.
Sounds good. Enjoy.
I didn't hear the church bells until the end of the day, after my thoughts and the street noise began.